Hello, hello, it's Leanne DeSanto in Miss Shiloh. Say hi, Shiloh. Out for our walk and wanted to come to you with my lesson from Shiloh today, which I am calling You Are Never Going to Feel Like Doing It. Okay, let me explain. So recently I came across this TED Talk from a gal named Mel Robbins. Super cool, really down-to-earth gal. You gotta check her out. And she said exactly that. Like, you're never gonna feel like doing it. And, you know, she brought up examples like getting out of bed. Do we ever really feel like getting out of our nice, warm, cozy bed and going into a cold bedroom? Not really. You know, we have to do it, and we do it, and some people do it a little more happily than others. But do we ever really feel like doing it? You know, do we ever really feel like going to the gym? Some people do, but a lot of us really don't feel like going, but we know, we'll go and we'll feel better, and we never really regret a workout, right? So we do it. So the point is that not to let your mood or your feelings dictate what you should be doing, because it's this like kind of resistance or this hesitation that takes us off track. So she talks about these two kind of sides of the brain. We have the side of the brain which is autopilot, which most of us are on most of the time, just kind of going through the motions. It's easy, it's a comfort zone, it's just kind of going through what we normally do all the time, how we pattern our day, just autopilot. It's like when we first learn how to drive, right? It's really clunky and it takes us some thought, but now you can just jump in the car and drive and not even think about it. And most of the time when I drive, I get somewhere and I wonder, did I even get here? Like, how did I even get here? I don't even remember driving, right? Because it's just autopilot. And then the side of the brain, that's the emergency brake. And that's the part of the brain that says, oh, okay, usually the fear side, right? The lower brain that says, oh, okay, I need to stop. What's this? Scary, don't want to do it. And we put the emergency brake on. And so in that, she says, basically we have 5 seconds. It's called the 5-second rule. We have 5 seconds to make a decision. So for instance, if that alarm goes off and your goal is to get up and go exercise, say, and you don't do it within 5 seconds and you hesitate, you probably will snooze the alarm and not do it. I'm like, 5 seconds, but it makes sense. Has that ever happened to you where, you kind of had this goal or plan and you were gonna start and then, gonna make that sales call and then you decide to make a cup of coffee instead. You are going to have that conversation with your kids, but you're going to watch a game show for a half hour. So it's this kind of hesitation. So the point is, don't let moods and feelings dictate what will move you forward, what you should be doing, what will bring you the results in your life that you want. Because some things you're just never going to feel like doing. Some things are going to feel hard and feel uncomfortable and bring up fear or bring up, anxiety or this hesitation. But just try to stay in that idea of, okay, I got 5 seconds here. I got to make this decision. I've got to do this. And once you do, and you get in the habit of doing that, you actually build this in what's called, Stephen Covey called the kind of integrity bank. You start really understanding that it's building your own integrity, building your own sense of keeping your word to yourself mostly. So when we don't keep our word to ourselves, we really start losing confidence. It really starts eroding confidence when we just keep, I'm going to do this, or okay, this is the goal, and then you don't follow through. So just remember, 5 seconds. Remember, you're going to be on autopilot sometimes, and you're going to have to just release a little bit of that emergency brake. Just a little. Start small. It doesn't have to be a big shift. It can be just a small habit that you've been wanting to start that you just haven't started yet. Something has held you back. Just say, I'm going to release that emergency brake just a little bit and do that. I'm going to make those 10 sales calls. I'm going to, get rid of the screens, no TV, no phones, and have 30 minutes every night with my family. Everybody's off their devices. Whatever it is that you feel is something that hasn't been followed through, that will really have a change in your life. So, 5-second rule, you got 5 seconds. Okay, good luck with that. Remember that. I think it's really powerful. Sounds simple, but super powerful. I'm Leanne DeSanto, and have an awesome day. Bye for now.